Welcome back, guys, to another video. Initially, I wanted to do something completely different, but after several failed plans for the weekend, a friend of mine asked me if I wanted to join him to the bike park, and I gladly accepted because I thought that's right what I need. A new challenge, a new sport, fun, everything combined, and a good community. So we had it right off, and I'm glad I didn't start at the beginning because at the beginning there were obviously the renting process. I don't own a bike, and last time I was sitting on a bike is 5 to 8 years ago. So the guy renting it to me gave me quite some looks after I tried to go for I don't know a few hundred meters to try out the suspension and stuff. He thought he wouldn't get this bike back in one piece, and I thought so too. Um, but anyways, I paid the fee. They gave me bike and a helmet, and I went off. And the first obstacle for me was already the lift because, um, not unlike in this video right now, it was completely empty. My friend already went for his lift opportunity, and I was left there completely alone. But gladly, I just tried to attach it like I just did, and it kind of worked. And I didn't fall out. So that was my first success of my day. I was very proud. Immediately in my first run up, there was a guy in front of me already chilling on his bike, one hand on the handlebar, on his mobile. And if you look at my handlebar right now, I'm twisting it from left to right, desperately trying to stay in this line. It's completely a strange feeling if you get pulled by the handlebar up the hill. My ass started hurting like after the third run or so, and I was just like, "Don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, don't fall," because everybody's sitting down there at their campfire, looking, I don't know where, maybe up. Uh, they definitely will look up if I scream and fall. So yeah, that was my initial plan with this. As I said, is my first time back on a bike since a few years. I've may do some city trips, but I wouldn't count them. Um, and I've actually never went to a bike park. It was quite nice to get pulled up and get all your energy focused on the runs down, so you can get in more training. I also was hoping because it's quite cold. It was in the middle of the winter. Where we live, there obviously is no snow, but it had like 5 degrees or something like this. It was the warmest day back then, and I was hoping to be there alone, so I can do my mistakes and nobody sees them. But apparently, this is one of the only bike parks open in the winter, so they come from all over. Most of the people weren't even German, or a good part of the people weren't even German. There were some French and stuff, so a lot of people traveled there. The parking lot was quite big, and in the afternoon, it was completely full when we arrived. And besides me not having a bike, I completely lack equipment as well. Um, as you will see later in the video, or you get a glimpse of it right now, I'm there in trekking boots. I got just some sweatpants on, which aren't clean until now. So I think they have now 3, 4, 5 runs into the washer, and they don't. I think I can throw them away. Um, the helmet is rented. The jacket is an old ski jacket. The gloves are motorcycle gloves, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not that attached to them anymore after the crash. There had some open places, but yeah. Anyways, I looked funny. If you look at every other person in this video, they look quite prepared for a bike ride. If you look at me, I look like I jumped into a second-hand dumpster and put on everything I could. Well, at least I had protection. I had some knee protectors and I had a back protector, so I felt a little bit more secure, and it even was mandatory to ride in this park. At least the back protector and the full face helmet. Yeah, anyways, enough talking up front. After the lift, there were like a 200-meter passage. The guy I went with had an e-bike, so he was like the only one riding up. I made the mistake and rode after him the first few times until I realized everybody else was walking up those last few hundred meters, because they really cost you a lot of stamina. Now, let's start with my first impression and my first ride. Like I said, I'm used to motorcycles. I'm not that used to bicycles, so I try to learn as much as I can from looking what other people do, because I have no clutch and no gas. To If you are on a motorcycle, with clutch and gas, you can give impulses you aren't capable of, because the motorcycle is so heavy and you are, compared to it, you are weak. And so I needed to get used to just use my body to give the bike the direction and the impulse I want, which isn't as hard, because obviously the bike is much lighter than a motorcycle would be. So that was quite a surprise to me. Like just simple drops and stuff where you would normally use clutch, I can just lean a bit back, pull slightly on the handlebar, and I drop back wheel first, which is right what you wanna have. I forgot to mention there I think 3 different type of lines. There's a blue line, a red line, and maybe a black or something. The black I did not try to that day. We were started, of course, with the blue runs, because there's no gaps. You have to cross over and stuff. You can just ride through wheels on the ground the whole time, which is the only thing I dared, especially in the beginning. Something completely new was I can't get lean angle. If you attain a lean angle on a bike, of course you will slide away and fall. So this is completely different to my street riding. And to compensate for that, they made those angled turns, which gives you obviously lean angle. So that was kind of new for me, but I think I got a hang for that after some time. But I don't want to give you like too much footage, but just maybe a speed comparison of my first few runs. Everything was new to me. I didn't know the track. That was a thing for me, because there were some drops and stuff I wasn't quite used. I was quite surprised by it. I wasn't really getting the hang of how to turn, when to turn, how the track's gonna behave, how the ground will behave. How much will I slide? It was also quite wet that day, and I also tried to just following my friend in front of me and to see what he does, because obviously then I could know what's coming without dumbfoldingly leaving the track. It was all right until the last part. As you can see, it already get a bit muddy, but this last straight run with the turn at the end, really, look how clean my bike is, or was until now. And now you see all those dirt flying up, flying into my helmet. I have no goggles, so I have dirt on my face, dirt in my mouth, dirt in my eyes, dirt everywhere in the bike. It didn't get any better throughout the day, but it was like the first starting shot for what was coming for the next 3 hours. I couldn't quite believe it. Look at this, and I just knew I had to get back on the saddle, so that's part why my trousers aren't getting clean anymore. Let's jump to maybe a more distinguished ride right now. I wanted to show you one more. There was actually everybody was quite nice. I just told them, yeah, I rented it. They complimented the bike, because apparently it was a good fabricate. But I was like, oh, I rented it. I'm new. Everybody was super nice to me, and this guy actually offered to show us the red line. Told him my experience level. He told me I can do it. So of course, we straight up went for that. I was quite surprised at some places. It started off very comfortable, very easy. just those few hops here right now, but after some meters, it got completely, completely out of control on my behalf. Mm. Yeah, this is the part right now. You don't want to fall because obviously there's the lift right next to you. And of course, you could hurt yourself pretty much. Everything doesn't look so steep right now, but for somebody hopping on a bike back since I don't know how many years, it was quite an experience. I was quite happy with myself until this very moment. I don't know why we stopped. I think the guys in front of us just wanted to prepare for, I don't know, a bigger jump. And this is right when the fast guys came flying through. Until then, I had never been overtaken on this track
Leck mich
the
am
whole day,
Arsch.
and just look at those guys. Half the time, no ground contact because they are flying from turn to turn, completely crazy. And this was the first time I started actually looking up behind me. Of course, this was no problem prior to this because on the blue line, nobody obviously is going for the blue line, going that fast. But after that, on the red line, I always took looks back because I was super afraid somebody would shoot by me like this. And yeah, I'm not afraid. Maybe the wrong word for this. I just
Uh-oh.
don't like it to be in anybody else's way. Like I know how it feels if somebody's blocking you in kind of any other sport. If somebody is like on a run, he should not be because his experience level is more blue than red. I would like I don't know. Yeah, it just felt a bit wrong. So I always try to make way for the faster guys and don't be an obstacle for them. You could see the perfect example. He was merging into the line of the guy who went for the jump and didn't look up. So this is exactly what happens. And if I would be the bad guy, I wouldn't be so happy about it as well. So, like I said, always look up, always take care of the others. If you're faster, d- don't crash into the slower ones, and if you're slow, make way for the fast ones so everybody can have fun. It doesn't cost you very much to just make a bit slower or miss one turn to let somebody pass and not ruining his whole descent with your, I don't know, ignorance on stuff. This was one of the rides later in the day, so I felt pretty good, and I even got left alone. Like I did some turns on my own on the blue run because I rented the bike for the whole 3 hours, and I wouldn't be quite happy if I wouldn't have gotten it. If I would have given it back before the time went up. So I said to myself, you need to definitely ride until the last very minute. And we are now going to look into one of those runs because it felt completely different. I felt much more safe on the bike. I even tried to jump. I wasn't fast enough. That was my main problem. It wasn't that I would not dare. I barely tapped the brakes in front of some. I even did the biggest drops there were on the blue run. But my main goal was to gain some airtime. Did not want to go on some on the bigger black and red jump line because there were many cases where you had to jump a gap, and if I would not have dared to, or if I would have been too slow, I would have crashed into the landing zone, into the landing hill, hurt myself probably. And yeah, I'm not risking the whole sports year for my inexperience, to put it like that. I will try that if I get any more chances of trying this out. It was of course, renting is some money, and rather put the money somewhere else in own equipment and like kind of other sports. But if I ever get to my hands on a bike again, and if I ever get back, I definitely said to myself, I need to strategically increase my jump height, my jump width, and stuff until I feel comfortable going for the bigger ones. But you already could see like this one was run was way more fun way less brake tapping. I already knew what's coming until after the next corner. This is a very important part I needed to realize. Like in every kind of racing sport, you always have a big advantage if you get to know the track better. Motorcycle racing, skiing, yeah, you if you know what kind of bumps where are coming, if you know how the ground or the tarmac will behave at certain points, yeah, it's a big advantage, and you gain more trust into the area around you, and of course yourself as well. Yeah, something I still haven't quite got the hang of is turns. Like if there is no um angled turn, I'm turning super slow because, like I said, it is wet. It is there is a lot of roots in my way, so I slipped a lot of times on them. I never fell, but yeah, without lean angle, turning isn't quite my thing. And even in motocross, you mostly have those angled turns, which you can then gain lean angle from. Yeah, and looking up, this is something I learned, like I said as well. And after that, this is the only part where I really could gain momentum and had some bigger tables. Of course, it was full of mud, but I still tried to make the best of it. Yeah, try to go on more drier lines. Yeah, and do some smaller jumps. Well, it was a successful day for me. I got tired. I got my adrenaline in. It was some hell yeah kind of shit, something I'm about, of course. The community was super nice. At first I was afraid, like I said, I was slow, I was inexperienced, I didn't want to be in anybody's way, but like there was nobody I talked to who was rude. Like I talked to some people about certain stuff. Yeah, what's this line like, or how can I improve that, and everybody was happy to help me, or was at least nice to me before they started their own one. Of course, they're here for their own entertainment, and I don't want to take up all their time. That was kinda my experience of this day. In the end, it got really full at the washing station, and they told me I have to wash it. So it took a whole another hour until I could go back in the car. We were super dirty. I felt a bit bad because we were bringing a lot of dirt into the car, and I was like super unprepared. I had nothing to change into and stuff. Anyways, the last thing I wanted to mention was the bike, because the further I went throughout the day, the more I realized how different it was to any mountain bike I've ever ridden. Like way better suspension. That's maybe because the last time I was really bicycling was I didn't even have a car's driver's license, and now I'm riding motorcycles for quite some time, so I can see differences in like circumference of the shocks in the front and stuff, and it was a complete different bike compared to what you normally get to ride in the streets. Like air pressure was down and stuff, so normal riding was quite hard. But I don't think that anything I've rode in my past would have uh, would have held together if I would have taken it down this mountain. It was there were quite some drops and stuff, and that was kind of my progress that day, to learn that how capable those bikes are. Because like I said, I've never actually ridden one of those high-end downhill bikes. I always had some mediocre city mountain bikes. I cleaned my stuff, I gave everything back, I even got some fries from one of them, hopped back in the car and called it a day. It was super great. Like I said, I definitely want to try to go back and do another runs, or even do some runs in a ski area, because now I went to some vacations in Austria for skiing, and now I'm like more trimmed to see uh, like mountain bike kind of stuff. And then, now I'm kind of starting seeing, oh my goodness, the tracks covered in snow in the winter, and I think, oh, this would be nice, that would be nice. So yeah, I'm definitely not done. Like I said, it's of course it's a money question. But if I can make it happen, I definitely will go back to this stuff again and try to improve. But that was really, really much more fun than I would have anticipated it to be. Yeah, next time I try to do some more experience stuff, bigger jumps and stuff. This is definitely my goal for now. And if I don't make them, I at least have some crash I can show you, because everybody knows crashing on the internet always gains a lot of views. So, anyways, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.